Published, 11:51 Eastern Standard Time, the 17th of February 2018. Updated, 15:56 Eastern Standard Time, the 17th of February 2018. The rally was not enough, but West Brom, deep in chaos with Alan Pardew's future hanging in the balance even before the infamous Barcelona taxi heist of 2018, at least showed they still care. Southampton's door was thumped, their crossbar struck, their goal guarded heroically. Pardew deserved a replay and pointed to a gutsy second-half performance. He will do similar if asked to explain an 8th defeat in charge by Nguyen Lai. There are definitely things to take from this into the Premier League. The crowd was frenzied, the players pumped up. Unusually so, and maybe the jaunt to Spain, however embarrassing and whatever the legal ramifications, can galvanise a team 7 points adrift at the division's foot. Southampton took the lead after just 11 minutes on the clock through an unlikely source in defender Wesley Hodd produced a smart finish past Ben Foster from inside the penalty area after James Ward-Prowse's corner kick. Southampton then doubled the lead 11 minutes into the second half through Dusan Tadic's delightful chip. The home side were not going down without a fight and halved the deficit through Salomon Rondon's stunning volley. Rondon ran to retrieve the ball as he celebrated, but his amazing strike proved to be a consolation as West Brom lost Sheffield Wednesday, Swansea vs Rochdale, Tottenham, Manchester United vs Brighton, Leicester vs Chelsea, Wigan, Manchester City vs Southampton. Quarter-final ties will be played from 16 to 19 March, yet they are still out of the FA Cup, even after Ahmed Hegazi hit the bar late on and Ryan Bertrand headed off the line from Salomon Rondon's follow-up. Rondon had scored a sensational goal to give West Brom hope at 2-0 down, but an equaliser proved too far. Pardew looked disconsolate at full-time, but positives can be taken. For Mauricio Pellegrino, also worrying about his employment, this was a strong riposte to Southampton's critics. "It's not what you deserve, it's about efficiency," Pellegrino said. "We were always dangerous on the counter. The spirit was really good, something we were talking about last week. These are trying times at West Brom." The chairman, John Williams, and chief executive Martin Goodman were sacked, and Pardew fears he is next. And then the breaking of a curfew by 4 of the club's most experienced players, Gareth Barry, Johnny Evans, Jake Livermore and Bo Asmihil, in Barcelona 48 hours before a 5th-round tie. West Brom striker Jay Rodriguez dribbles past his former teammate James Ward-Prowse and goes down under his challenge. Cedric Soares advances down the right flank and tries to deliver a cross under pressure from James McLean. Southampton forward Nathan Redmond and West Brom defender Craig Dawson tussle for the loose ball at the Hawthorns. West Brom manager Alan Pardew protests from his technical area after a refereeing decision went against his side. Worth taxi stolen and driver stranded in a McDonald's in the Olympic Port area. They drove off to their boutique hotel, the one, 3 miles. Stupidity and crisis don't seem to do this justice. Spanish police are investigating, and so is the club. Of the cab 4, Pardew picked Evans, yet stripped him of the captaincy. "Johnny was very good considering the circumstances," Pardew said. "He will make a permanent decision about the armband this week." Barry patrolled midfield when otherwise he might have been rested. "Go and prove a point" seemed to be the message. All they proved early was the amateurism engulfing Pardew's troublesome reign continues. Wesley Hodd's opener was laughable in its simplicity in the 11th minute. James Ward-Prowse's corner had whipped away from Ben Foster but was primed for a big central defender to head clear comfortably. Unfortunately for West Brom, minds are currently muddled. Gareth McCauley and Craig Dawson were both sucked into dashing towards the near post with Guido Carrillo. Desperately, the delivery evaded them. You could almost hear Hodd laugh as he passed in unmarked from 6 yards. It was pathetic, if we are completely honest. Under Pardew, and Tony Pulis before him, these players have lost the ability to defend set pieces, an aspect of the game they had prided themselves on last season. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg almost capitalized on another defensive calamity too. Ryan Bertrand attempts to stave off the attention of West Brom midfielder Matt Phillips deep in his own half. Rodriguez goes to ground inside the penalty area as he gets his legs entangled with those of Southampton defender Hodd. Southampton goalkeeper Alex McCarthy comes off of his line to punch clear the danger from a West Brom cross. Only Brighton, Leicester and Watford have conceded more from set plays this term. With the defensive ability at West Brom's disposal, this is clearly a mentality problem. Pardew could be forgiven for tweaking that famous old Harold Macmillan quote. What poses the most obvious threat to West Brom? Basics, dear boy, basics. The home supporters were exceptional, and credit to them for that after the catastrophe of the last few days. The Hawthorns wanted this to become an afternoon of defiance, the start of something. It did eventually, as Jay Rodriguez and James McLean marched like men possessed after half-time. Both should be commended because they got West Brom moving. We looked edgy first half. Second half we showed more confidence, guile and energy. In fact, Pardew added. Southampton goalkeeper McCarthy makes a terrific diving save to his right on his goal line to preserve his side's lead. Ahmed Hegazi shows courage to stoop and head the ball away under the challenge of Southampton's Guido Carrillo. The two teams clashed after Hegazi made it clear he was unhappy about the forwards' challenger. Grzegorz Krychowiak's long-range effort was deflected wide and Hegazi flicked beyond the far post as the ante was upped. Pardew had head in hands, yet here felt a spark, which then went out seconds later. Southampton flew forward on the counter 11 minutes after the restart, Carrillo lobbing to Dusan Tadic and Tadic exquisitely doing the same to Foster. A wonderful goal, and one which should have put the visitors out of sight, particularly given Hegazi crouched forlornly and Evans wandered aimlessly in the immediate aftermath. West Brom's players looked lonely. There was a twist, however. A twist both majestic and raw simultaneously 2 minutes later as Krychowiak looked up on halfway and saw Rondon peel off his man. The ball looped over the top, Rondon's eyes widen, and then the contact. Crisp, true, a meaty volley with the poise of Marco van Basten all those years ago. Hegazi then thought he equalised, only for Southampton to somehow clear his certain goal off the line. The same happened as full-time approached. This was a different West Brom, one fueled by aggression. Replicate that against Huddersfield next weekend and they may have a fighting chance, providing the basic mistakes are corrected. Rodriguez goes desperately close to equalising in the closing stages, but Bertrand headers clear off the goal line. The West Brom forward holds onto the goal frame in frustration after missing the gilt-edged opportunity late on. Gareth Barry desperately appealed to referee Chris Kavanagh for a goal, but his verdict was the ball had not crossed the line.